I'll show you guys what I mean with power slide turns. So, well, this is what happened in the game when we were turning. We just went like this. That was it. We just like we were going about this fast. Maybe we were nearly supersonic, and then we just power slided, power slid, right? Not very fast, right? I'm doing a full steer power slide here. So stay on the ground more. Well, just like don't go for like big blocks as much as you did. If you're getting beaten to the ball, just realize it and then accept it. But yeah, for faster power slides, you should absolutely try and like boost into the power slide and out of it, you know? You gotta be quick on the turn. You can't just not boost throughout a slide. Like this one is a pretty good one. Yeah, boost it into it, power slide in the middle, boost out of it. It's like the fastest way to turn your car. You have to boost into the turn, like get your car moving so you've got the most momentum possible. And then as soon as your car is halfway, you start boosting again. Your boost is only off for a very small time if you're turning as quickly as possible. Like if you have boost and you're trying to turn without it, you're turning slower than you should be. So stay on the ground more. Oh, sorry. Yeah, less unnecessary flips. Yeah, definitely. Because every time that you flip, your car is committed to that direction. You are now going that way. That is where you're going, which is information for the other team, and also like time taken to get back into the game. So I would say only flip when you're sure that you're getting a 50-50, or you're saving an important shot or blocking an important pass. Don't think, oh, this guy might hit that ball over here, I'm gonna flip this. Oh, he faked it. Like that's just, you're just walking into mind games. You're walking into miss hits. You're not being effective against any of them. But if you're going to grind mechanics, I would definitely say turning. Just like try and turn quicker. You'd be surprised like how many people you can catch off guard just by turning really fast. And I'm not saying that I'm like the most insanely mechanical player when it comes to turning. I'm just saying like you'd be surprised what you can do without having to grind up to 2K level mechanics. You don't need to have insane mechanics to turn really quick. It's quite simple. Very fast. Got to boost into it, boost out of it. And you start boosting when your car is perpendicular to the direction the ball's going. So right now it's going backwards. We start boosting as soon as, you see that? As soon as my car was basically side onto the ball. So I'll just park my car and illustrate. So if I'm wanting to hit the ball this way towards this goal, and I start off facing away from it like this, I would, start boosting out of the power slide when I'm here. 90 degrees to the ball, we start boosting out of the slide. That's the fastest possible way. Because if you think about it, from every point from here to here, we're turning towards the ball. What helps us go faster forward? Boost. From every point from here to here, we're actually pointing away from the ball. So if you boost for that section of the turn, you're actually not helping yourself. Like if I hold power slide, or if I hold boost throughout an entire slide, see that? The boost at the start is actually just pushing us further away. It's only once you get turned around completely, like or turned around halfway, that the boost actually starts helping you get towards the ball. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully it does, because it's a really important thing to learn. Like, don't boost too soon in the power slide, or else your boost is actually going to be pushing you back. But don't not boost at all, because if you don't, then you're going to be like, you're going to look like, well, just look at the difference here. So if I just don't boost at all, if I just try and only power slide, like, it's going to look like this. Not much power. But if you like turn halfway and then boost into the ball, like you're right on it, way faster. It's that simple. Same again here. Just a quick turn on the spot, and it's all muscle memory. Like once you learn it once, you don't have to learn it again. Just a quick turn. So we're boosting into the slide, letting go of boost while we're turning around, reapplying the boost once we're halfway around. Hopefully that makes sense. So you're only letting go of boost for a tiny, tiny bit if you do it fast enough. Just a little bit. Just that little bit where your car is going into the slide, into halfway round. As soon as you're halfway round, start boosting again. It's the fastest way to turn. And not many people actually do it like this. Most people are turning very, very slowly. The weird thing is you're super mechanical in the air. Just wasn't really showcased in that replay. Yeah, aerial mechanics like air rolling and, you know, flip resetting and ceiling shots and, you know, all these really fancy things, they're not that important for 3v3. Markydooda taught me that. Well, he didn't teach me it, but I learned it by watching him. I did learn that by watching Markydooda, because he used to do this to everybody. Whenever I would play with him, he would just turn on the spot so fast and then nobody would see it coming, and then he would dribble them. Before they even know he's turned around, he's already dribbled them. I was like, man, that looks really good. I'm going to try that. Oh yeah, it is good. So he didn't like tell me, hey Johnny, this is how you turn fast, because that would be helpful, and Markydooda was never helpful on purpose. But yeah, I did learn that by watching him. Marky was a pretty legendary player. If it fits into this review, could you discuss recovery in general? Well, generally, land on your wheels and try and land with your wheels pointing in the direct, or your car pointing in the direction that your momentum is going, or if not, then backwards. Land with your car pointing backwards, because then you can half flip. But if you land sideways, then you have to do lots of, you know, sideways wave dashes, sideways flips, and quarter flips and things like this, which is more awkward. You know, a big part of recovery is not actually what to do after you lose control of your car, it's what you do before, because the reason a lot of people struggle to recover is because they missed a boost here, and 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 then they go up for an aerial with 30 boost. They're like, oh man, I've got no boost. Now I have to recover. Oh man, my recoveries are so bad. And they wonder why the recoveries are so bad. It's because you missed all the boost. If you just picked up all the boosts here, then you go up for an aerial and you miss the aerial. Hey, no problem. We got 70 boosts, so we're fine. You know, like, yeah, it's oftentimes what you do beforehand. Try not to put yourself in stupid positions and do silly things in the run up to a play, and then you won't be out of boost and really slow a lot of the time. I'm a freestyler. No. How much longer am I streaming for? That's actually all we're gonna do today. We're just in. We just did one of the qualification matches to the Salt Mine EU. Hopefully we'll have another one or more tomorrow. Maybe 2 if we're lucky. Maybe 3. That would be very spicy. But I'm gonna look for somebody to host. I was just looking to do a couple of replay reviews after. What's somebody saying here? Marky was overhyped. He had good teammates that made him look better. Imagine actually thinking that that's facts. Marky was like literally the best player in the world for most of 6 months, I would say. He was insane. He did have good teammates, yes, but he was still the best player in the world for a while. Like, a lot of people just only saw Markydooda season, you know, 3, 4, 5, and they're like, wow, this guy's terrible, he's overrated. As soon as he left Cuxer's team, he can't win anything. But they never saw, you know, pre-RLCS era, where Markydooda is 1v3ing world-class teams. World-class teams. Markydooda teams up with like a couple of his mates from school and beats them. Like, who else does this? A lot of other people tried. But I'll give you a clue. Nobody else does this. He would queue up with literal potatoes and win tournaments against world-class players with people like me, you know. It's like people my level. He won tournaments with people who are actually, you know, well known for being bad. Have a clip of it. Unfortunately, Marky never made a YouTube channel. Well, he did, but he never really uploaded in the early days. So when he was the best player in the world, it was mostly unbroadcasted. Even by the time I started hosting 1v1s, his like peak of 1v1 had passed already. So yeah, if you weren't there, then you might have just missed a lot of it. But Marky was the best player in the world for a while. For a good while. Like, I think initially when the game came out, the best player was Kronovi. I don't think that there's any debate of that. There's actually a video of Kronovi 1v2ing Markydooda and Wrongway Woody on YouTube, I think. But after that happened, Markydooda grinded because he wanted to beat Kronovi in a 1v1 to prove that the 1v2 loss was a one-off, and it was just because he hadn't practiced Rocket League enough, because their game was super new back then. Kronovi had a head start on it. And yeah, after Kronovi, I think Marky was the next best player in the world, like came along and kind of dethroned Crow. And then he was I think Marky was probably the best player in the world till Cux became the best player in the world. And when Cux was the best player in the world, I think Marky was second best player in the world. Until, I guess Devo. Was the next best player after that. And Marky kind of fell off a lot. After winning World Championships in Season 2, Marky's drive for the game kind of went away. But yeah, Kronovi was the best player, then Marky, then Cux, then Devo. And then after that it was probably Turbo, and the rest is history, I think. But since then it's just been Turbo K'd up with a dabble of Chaussette recently, maybe a bit of Justin here and there, a bit of Garrett at times. But yeah, nobody's been as dominant as the OGs. Nobody's been like as outstanding. Pashy, Squishy. I don't think either of them have ever been like the best player in the world. Like, I think in order to be the best player in the world, you have to be like the clear best player, not just one of the best players. And all the names I mentioned, like Crow, Marky, Cux, Devo, I think at one point during Rocket League, at different stages of Rocket League competitive career, they were like the best by far. It wasn't just like they were in the conversation. I think they were just the best. Like, it wasn't even a discussion. Pashy, when he was playing early days, he was one of the best, but I don't think he ever became the best. Same with Squishy. I think he's been one of the best for a long time, but I don't think he's ever been the best. I think the only players recently in America who might have a case for being the best, like there was a time when I thought maybe Garrett G was the best player in the world. And yeah, there was a point that I thought Justin was probably the best as well. I think, yeah, both those guys have had a shout. Squishy is the best. Yeah, I'm sure there's some people who think Sizz is the best as well. Scrub, a ball chaser. Scrub's like a very interesting player because he was obviously the best ones player when he couldn't play threes because he was too young. And then when he won the World Championship, he was playing with Kate Up and Fairy. So it's really hard to ever call Scrub the best player because of like his timeline of competitive threes, and also because of his like team being so. It's hard to pick even the best player in Vitality when they won the World Championship. Never mind the best player in the world. You know, actually, there was probably a time where JNaps was in the conversation. Or, obviously, JNaps has been in the conversation for being best player in the world for a long time, but I don't know. Was there ever a timeline? If it maybe when G2 won E-League, you could have called JNaps the best player in the world. And if G2 hadn't got peepsed, you could have probably called Chicago the best player in the world as well. But they got peepsed, so I don't know anymore. Like, there's a lot of almosts. Like, they were almost unanimously best player, but not quite. I'll have to think about it some more. Maybe I'll do a video of that once the Salt Mine shenanigans is over. I don't know if you guys would be interested in knowing the history of who was the best player in Rocket League throughout history.